game to cast. As to the top left hand side of the map, our red Terran player from Rival Gaming is Future. He's going up against the blue Terran to the bottom right from SYF. It is Seither. Alright, game one of this best of 5 TvT. Let's see which way it's going to go in the early game, as we already see second gases from both players, and so we are going to be seeing at least a commitment to one base play for a little while here. It's not going to be immediately in towards expansions or anything, so we'll see how both these players approach this now. Obviously, thank you as well for sitting for a little bit of a longer break there just on the downtime. Just was getting myself some food rather than coming back and talking straight away. So, apologies for the slightly longer break, but had to eat something, and again, been a bit messed up the last day or so. My schedule, my body's clock is just kind of completely out of it, and so didn't really get a chance to eat until just, well, at some point during the stream. I didn't get a chance to eat before the stream, put it that way. As we do see the Reaper coming up from both players right now. Factory on the way down on each side. And obviously that's expected here with the way that they both opened with the double gas on one base to begin with. Seither coming forwards, and we'll just be sat with this Reaper up on the high ground here. The Reaper of Future over to the left, and looking to see what he can get up to now, as we see the Cyclone starting up from both players as well. And the starport coming down from Seither also, so Seither starting this up. Future actually not going into the starport just yet. He's really split his structures up right now, but neither player is actually SCV or Reaper scouted, so isn't going to kind of fake anyone out. Maybe it's not so much a fake as it is just a let's get this set up and kind of just cover my base a little bit. Although hiding the barracks up to the top right does seem like a little bit of a fake out, like, hey look, I'm proxying you, you know? We do see these two Reapers coming in towards the center here. Future going to be continuing his way down towards the lower right hand side, as two Reapers of Seither coming up towards the upper left. And they're going to be trying to get a little bit more damage done as well in the next few moments. So those Reapers going to be hopping up here, and again going to be maybe find themselves an SCV kill or so. And that's going to be nicely done. So one SCV picked off already. And you'll see the Tech Lab finishing up on the factory, as we do see the Cyclone continuing to fight against this Reaper. Both these Reapers actually going to end up being pulled away. And again, to the upper right hand side, you can see this Cyclone just looking for something. Looking to see if there's anything around. Two Reapers from Future though come in, get a couple of kills and get out. 3 workers killed so far, but keeping the Reapers alive nice too. I wonder if it would have been worth to just stick around. I mean, one Hellion may start to do some damage, but very slowly, and to the point where you probably could get at least 3 or 4 more kills. I mean, now the Reapers again pushed away. It's unlikely they're going to find that opportunity again, as the Cyclone and Reaper from Seither do come in, and they do delay that CC from building, which will even up the build times of each of these naturals in the next few moments. Means the Future's still going to be a little bit ahead on his. His starport now coming up into play. It's going to be a medevac out first. Across the map, Seither decided to go for the Raven though. So we saw that Raven in an earlier TvT today, showing us a lot of promise, a lot of potential, and that was pretty cool. So we'll see how it continues to be used here, as we see that Cyclone joining up on the natural. Raven as well now coming out and just going to sit up on the high ground, or sit up above the rest of this army. 2 Reapers coming on down. Going to be coming across, and we'll be jumping up in towards the main in the next few moments. Hellion here already though, going to fire away, and we are going to see that Hellion going to get picked away at. So Hellion gets taken down here, and we are going to see actually another SCV or 2 going to get picked away at as well. Gets 1 kill, 2nd kill also. And unfortunately for Future, he's going to have to leave, but still doing good damage for these 2 Reapers, keeping them up and keeping them around, as you're going to see a tank coming up on each side. A couple of Vikings on the way out as well. Siege tank from Seither now going to be sieging up on the natural expansion. 2 more Vikings joining up as well, coming over. Going to be tagging together with this Raven, so again, everything just gathering up a little bit right now. Is going to be seeing Marines, tanks, Viking, Cyclone, medevac, all going to get ready to go through to the south side and look to see what they can get done. Future used this again the other day as well, actually, when he was playing against Soul. It actually helped him get into kind of a winning position against Soul, this kind of position here. Double Viking, though, is going to get rid of this medevac. I'm not sure if you can really justify trying to move forwards. It feels as though Future is losing quite a lot just trying to get something done, when reality is he isn't going to be able to get much done at all. This is a complete shutdown by Seither, and Soul will not, Future will not find any damage at all. I mean, Future's series against Soul gave me a lot of hope for him in this series as well, by the way. I think taking down Soul 2-1 is definitely not an easy thing to do, and so I really do expect him to really put a fight up against Seither, even if Seither is maybe our favourite player overall. That is shown a little bit here, kind of a very solid defense up in supply quite heavily. You have a third CC from either player just yet. We see it coming up right now from Future, who is going into the 4 extra barracks as well, so his production is moving along quite nicely. He's ahead in the production compared to Seither, who is again ahead in army, down slightly in workers. I always find it very interesting to compare just all the different points of TvT, kind of just because you really do get ahead on kind of so many different things, or fall behind in different ways, that different advantages here and there really do add up to just sort of, again, meaning different things, basically. You see the Vikings towards the upper right hunting down and are successful. As now we're going to be seeing this army continuing towards the upper left-hand side. Seither continue to push on across with the Cyclone and the 2 tanks. And 5 Vikings in the sky as well. I'm going to be coming in towards this natural expansion here. And 1 tank already firing away, 2 tanks firing away, and oh my god, that first siege tank just disappears. You're not going to be seeing that Liberator will be able to turn around and probably be able to pick its way through those tanks, though forcing it back. Means that now he can bring his tanks into this sort of position. This is very awkward, because how do you ever get rid of this Liberator when the Viking count is here? Well, I guess it doesn't matter if you accidentally walk your tank into tank range while it's still sieged up. And maybe Seither just being a little bit too aggressive here, maybe just a little bit too far forwards, and just pushing in, again, just a bit before his time. You'll see the Liberator sieging again, and we'll see a couple of Marines coming forwards, but they just get picked off. Lovely interference matrix on the Cyclone will stop this from being an issue. And this 1 Liberator right now has been the MVP of this push, because other than the Liberator, nothing else really went Seither's way. He will pull back now. Better pull back earlier than when it's too late. And both players heading in towards the 1-1 upgrades. There's a whole bunch more Marines just coming on through. Some more Marines coming up here. Coming in towards the natural and moving around as well in general. And Seither still to the south is moving around the Vikings and the Raven. Seeing where they can go. 3rd CC moving into location from Seither is a bit late in. Future does still hold the worker lead. Has done kind of throughout the game so far, so keeping that up is very solid for him, as we see this Liberator coming through the top side. Going to be getting set to siege up on towards this base over here, perhaps. Meanwhile, I mean, here comes the Cyclone Marines, a few tanks. We're going to see what they can do. 1 tank actually on siege is a bit of an awkward spot. Double interference matrix will stop those tanks from taking position as easily. Give him some time to respond to it, actually. As we'll see, one of the tanks even got caught while sieging, but now he loses the Vikings, which is a big loss here. And Future's continuing to press up this ramp, and he will be able to get down the siege tank as well. So that's very nicely done here by Future, who takes down a Raven 2. More Marines of Seither going to fight back against this. And Future will lift and kind of just back away here for the moment. Combat shields on the way up from both players, and the 1-1 upgrades of Seither continue coming up, and they will be finishing in a moment or two on those engineering bays. 1 tank picks up a kill or so, and we're going to be seeing these couple of Marines still just trying to find something, anything right now, to just try and do some more damage. You know, at home, Seither's, Future's army continues to build, and Seither is laying down the mule hammer over on the 3rd base, so that's a lot of mules coming on up. Supplies are going to even out once again here. Future's a little bit faster to get the 2-2 started, however, plus 1 vehicle weapons as well on the way at the moment. And the 2nd factory also from both. It's kind of crazy how in sync both of them are with their kind of plans for this game. It just shows you how well figured out TvT kind of is going into the mid and late stages, because neither of these guys are really kind of doing what the other isn't. I mean, okay, Seither didn't start 2-2 because he forgot his armory, but I think things such as like getting the 2nd factory and so on at the same time, you know, the expansions were taken similarly timed. It just shows you that both of them have a great understanding of just what you can do and when here in this Terran versus Terran mirrored matchup. Seither finally comes in and will clean out those tanks. There's 1 medevac that actually does save one of the tanks, and they will be able to get away. He needs to be careful because those Marines are trying to get in a position to deal with it. Future will just wait a little while before maybe bringing that back home, just to be sure he is going to be safe and he's not just going to lose it to a random clump of Marines, which would be a shame in this current moment. 2 more medevacs going to be coming out of this starport in the next few moments as well, as Future Coming through the top side, a whole chunk of Marines, a couple of siege tanks. Going to be coming all the way over to the right as we do see the 4th Command Center dropping down as well here. We are going to be seeing this entire army of Future is going to be looking to see what it can do. Viking going to pick off the medevac in this tank. Siege is up again. You're going to be seeing this tank getting taken down by those Marines. I mean, in the end, Future, I guess, may as well try to do something with it. The Viking kind of forced his hand. But, well, Future was going to be able to come into the third base at the same time, so that one tank may be enough of a distraction to set this up. Look how many SCVs are disappearing. The entire mineral line just disappears. Now those Marines pushing in towards tank fire. Well, Future continues to trade very well with this as well. I mean, he will get cleaned up, but God, he massacred a whole chunk of army here, forces the cancel on the kind of weirdly positioned 4th base up on the right side as well. And Future is really showing us his prowess in TvT right now, controlling this first game against Seither. Australian Hope, one of the big SEA players who's still in this competition alongside Probe. And expecting a big performance from him. If he fell to Future, it would be a huge shock, I think. I was going to see those Marines still pushing forwards. A tank goes down. Marines load up into the medevacs, which just about managed to get away. So they're able to pull away in towards the center. We're going to see another Marine out here as well. A final set of upgrades right now from Future coming on up, and we are going to be seeing Seither with +2/+2 coming up as well in the main base now also. So another couple of upgrades finishing up here shortly as Future still in the center of the map with a couple of medevacs and Marines. We're going to be seeing a stim forwards, picks off a Marine or so. 2 Liberators of Seither currently on the way up. And we are going to be seen still pushing through the middle of Seither here with a good chunk of his army, a good amount of Marines, a good amount of tanks. Going to be pushing in towards this set of rocks here in the next couple of moments. And let's see what happens. These tanks are not sieging just yet, and Future's going to jump on this before the tank starts. Siege gets 2 backs away. Remember, he is actually 2-2 against 1-1 for just a few more seconds, but really just a few more seconds. And Future's still in an awkward spot here. He has to stop Seither from furthering his position towards the 4th. Planetary Fortress will be able to hold on for a little bit, but not forever. Future unsieges. Actually may just go for the counter-attack while leaving his own units at home to defend for the moment. You can see this medevac getting shut down as well. Drop play being denied. Seither keeping himself in this by not letting too much further damage be done. Uh-oh, those Marines are off on a journey and they are not going to last very long at all. They get picked off very quickly, as you can see Marines of Future coming in over here and going to be pushing on forwards, and a bunch of Marines of Seither getting taken down. A tank as well already fallen, and obviously now this base trade begins, but Future's already pushing in towards the main base of his opponent, which creates a huge amount of possibilities for him in terms of denying production, etc. While at home, Future is not going to have production denied, just a 4th base being nibbled at, and that's therefore not as much of an issue. He does get pushed out of the main, but man, I mean, he's cleaned up the natural. It's having to float away off to the side, and he's just going to keep on controlling this space, which makes life so difficult for Seither right now. As we're going to be seeing these Marines and tanks. Well, he has to be careful. He's actually going to push into this, so Future wants to clean this up. I'm not sure if he really needed to push in like he did just now. I mean, the tanks do get to siege up a little bit better. And that was definitely a moment or so for Seither there. That went a long way, as we're going to be seeing him still losing units over towards this 3rd base. Now, he's going to have to get these units out of the main and put them in play shortly. Otherwise, he's just going to keep losing out on so much over time. You really can't afford to just lose kind of units forever, right? SCVs don't know where to run. I mean, if they run further left, they're going to be attacked by the tanks. If they stay here, they're going to get hit by the Marines. There's no right answer, as we do see the 4th base of Future goes down. But again, his tank line is fine to keep him on 3 bases, which is obviously completely fine based on, well, the fact that Seither has not got a 3rd base anymore. He just picked it off. You'll see the planetary up here. Can you put the tanks in a position to deal with that? And that might be one of the things, or ways he tries to deal with this. Tanks in range there, but he doesn't have the vision. No medevac in location. So Seither will get the upper hand on those trades. And it's going to be one more tank picked off as well. Marines, tanks, and medevac setting up on the left-hand side. And we're going to be seeing the Future is going to be coming back over to the right-hand side. And again, just going to put a position on where he can shut down mining on this base, which is one of the only mining bases remaining. This natural expansion can come back into location now. Seither gives up on his push across the map, but look at the supplies. 172 to 96. Future has this game under control. He also has the final set of upgrades finished against the 2-2 of Seither. That's fantastic as well. And right now, it looks as though Seither is just going to have everything he needs to lose this game. Because I meant to say Future is going to have everything he needs to take this game to close it out. Take game 1 of this. Best of 5, I mean, is a best of 5. Long way to go in the series, but Future played this fantastically. I actually kind of think back on it. There's definitely moments where Seither looked good, he looked okay, but I think there was definitely a lot more moments where Future looked as though he was the one controlling the game. He was the one who was always comfortable. He was the one who never really kind of brought any doubt into our minds. As here we go, an upgrade lead going into this fight. Tanks siege on both sides, but the Marines just disappear from Future. And even those Liberators are going to get rid of a few tanks. It doesn't matter. Future is going to take game number 1, and he's going to take the game to the top left-hand side of the map from Rival Gaming. Is our red Terran player. It is Future. He's up against the blue Terran to the bottom right-hand side, Seither. Game 2 of this series as we get set up and ready to party. It didn't really work as well as I thought it was. I thought it was going to sound way cooler when I had it in my head. But again, set up and ready to go as we're going to be seeing the well, barracks being dropped down. Gas first from both. Well, actually gas first from Seither, not from Future. Interesting. We'll see what he does. See what the difference may be there because of that choice. Can I get a shout out? Says AK-47 Rhino in the chat. Consider this your shout out. The answer to your question is yes, I suppose. Again, we're going to be busy with StarCraft action for the next few days and for the next week as well, honestly. We're going to keep you guys busy. January has been a big month for us so far, and it's just continuing to be busy. As you do see the double racks, so that's why. We saw this yesterday from Future, the 2 racks kind of Reaper opening against Soul. Actually put him into a great spot, gave him a lot of map control to work with for a long time, and was able to do a lot because of that, and yeah, put him into a cool little spot here and there. As you do see this SCV of Seither coming along and will be popping up in towards the main base perhaps, or no, just going to scout around. I mean, that's huge right now, because Seither's not going to see the lack of a factory, and not seeing the lack of a factory is kind of a big deal. Himself just going in towards the normal Reaper expand. Future can definitely take an advantage with this thing, because again, he won't generally kind of expand too late here in the end as the factory comes down from Seither on the main base. And I see this Reaper from Seither going to start moving out and going out in towards the center and beyond. Future will be able to throw down this command center here in the next couple of moments on the natural. Command center building. So CC starts to come on up as this Reaper from Future coming across. And again, this is just the first Reaper. There's more Reapers of this to come. And this is where the pressure really could start up, especially if he gets the first Reaper kill. He does have the earlier shot, I believe. Wow, he kills his Reaper already. That's huge, because now he's about to have 2 Reapers against 1 rather than 2 against 2. You know, usually the 2-racks Reaper kind of begins to build up a little bit further kind of later on. But this happens a lot faster this game. As I think Seither has to realize, like, oh, why do you have so fast a second Reaper? A bunker coming down next to the natural, and SCVs are starting to be pulled in. It was a shame that he lost the lower health Reaper. He should have kept it further back. He didn't need to rush in with it, honestly. As we are going to see the SCVs continue to pull, and the Reaper will be forced to kite away. This bunker will not be able to come up here, but he gets another SCV in the process. It just forces the fight. It forces Future to come and respond to this. Whereas, you know, otherwise you would just set up the ramp and said, okay, well, so what, you know? That doesn't really bother me because there's nothing to be bothered about. Future behind this will get a couple more Reapers, and at some stage he will want to throw down the reactor and a tech lab. And there we go, tech lab already. Probably finish this Reaper and lift this barracks back up into the main and start the reactor, unless he feels as though it's safe enough here, in which case he can leave it out. I mean, if he's taking the free CC in this location already, well then, I mean, obviously it feels as though he can protect that location, so he might just build the reactor. Was about to, you know, he can just build a reactor in location if he wants. I think it is just a bit safer to pull it into the main, especially if it's going to be a second tech lab. Is that intentional? Does he want to go stim and combat at the same time here? Well, possibly. It will give him a very powerful follow-up timing with both of those upgrades finishing. Let's see what the choice is right now from Seither, a medevac and a cyclone on the way out. Pushing forwards those Reapers, just going to throw down a couple of grenades, try and pick off some Marines that are still at the front. And we do see the cyclone going to be popping out in a moment or two, so Seither going to be pulling this down to low ground. Some more grenades going down here, and again, just a little bit of a skirmish. And I see Cyclone taking a few more hits, and we do see that stim pack from Future continuing on up as well. 75% of the way done, the CC going to be finished soon, and that's going to be a big advantage that Future will hold, because where's the third command center of Seither? Well, spoilers, it doesn't exist. So without the third command center of Seither existing right now, this is going to be pretty... this could be pretty rough for him, as we're going to be seeing the... you know, his army supply is there, so maybe he could do something. I'm not sure what exactly could be his plan. Meanwhile, I mean, his future just sets up in towards his own starport. There's the reactor for it. This barracks didn't make a reactor just yet, as he does indeed go stim combat at the same time, looking to maybe line up all of the stim combat and +1 at the same time to come in for a big attack with 2 medevacs or so. Some Reapers coming up this right side. Did he just spot this Reaper or medevac over here? I think he saw it, because why else would you kind of run in that direction? Well, okay, gets confirmation that it's coming across, and it is just 6 Marines and the Hellion in here, as we are going to be seeing the medevac continuing on along, and at the same time, there's a Liberator from Seither going to continue through the south, so he is looking to get some further damage done in all of this, as we do see the free CC up, and Future just going to get ready to defend this drop, and of course Seither is already losing chances to take advantage of what is an army supply lead for himself in this game number 2. Down a game, Seither has to find something as well, because if he just keeps on falling further behind, well, that's never going to be a pretty situation for him, as we're going to see the Reapers popping back down the low ground. This medevac is up and down, doesn't know where to go to for the best. Loses a Reaper mid-map, and so Seither is going to lose that vision that he had in the center. Makes maybe pushes from Future a little bit more powerful. Here we go, the Liberator will see a butcher up on the natural, and let's see how the multi-pronged defense is going to be here from Future. Well, again, he's already got units in position to deal with that medevac, but it means he's very out of location to deal with the Lib. So he is going to have to pull in very soon. The Liberator already finding a triple SCV kill. And there's that medevac into the main base here. Now Stim is done, and that's going to be a bit of a big difference, because these Marines being able to stim onto those non-stim Marines do a huge amount, and that medevac's just going to have to keep on pulling away. Liberator pulls back before it actually gets picked off, which is great as well, because it means it can come back in and do, well, similar damage all over again here. This medevac from Future coming out in towards the center of the map, and another medevac down the left, looking to try and see what it can do as well. 1-1 upgrade still coming up right now from Seither, as we're going to be seeing this SCV of Future pulling back in towards the natural expansion. Siege tank, couple more Cyclones, SCV getting set up. 2 more barracks coming down, and well, going to be seeing these medevacs just going to be coming on in. Cyclones already starting to fight. This is not going to be a drop which really does a lot for Future. You might even lose a medevac or so. And he gets out of range of the Cyclone lock-on. Tank and the other Marines just gathering up in the main base. And we are going to see that medevac of Seither going to keep on coming through the top side. And again, just setting up to see what will happen next. The Liberator again going to be probably sieging up in a moment or two. There's a few Marines and a couple of medevacs just sat to deal with that Liberator if it comes in. Don't really know if he needs the medevacs here, but the Marines are nice until he gets a missile turret in location, which is going to be in the very near future. And again, Future just building up into a point where maybe he can push across the map. I have to say, there's still no stim pack out of Seither. Future attacked soon, that could be kind of a big deal, but generally the tank counts can help you kind of stay safe even if you don't have stim early on, and you will have an advantageous tank count, if only by 1, simply because of the fact that he has the latest stim, because he's been producing off of the factory and tech lab a little bit longer, it would seem. Orbital will land in location, and obviously now 3 bases apiece, but Seither has been so slow in getting that orbital into position. Future's been mining off of this 3rd base for a long time in comparison, as we are going to see the 2nd factory coming down towards the 3rd, and obviously just extra tank production getting established here. You can see those Marines loading back into medevacs. We'll be backing up through the top to the top side of the map once again. 4th command center of Future begins to build on up, as we do see that stim pack of Seither going to be finishing too. A lot more units over to the right hand side here, and again everything just gathering up together in towards the middle of the map. So there's a couple of Reapers over to this right side. And on the left, the fact he still has these Reapers in the game just shows you how much kind of control Future has had since some of the early stages, just keeping those Reapers alive and being able to keep them kind of, you know, the watchtowers etc. with them. Very nice, as we're going to be seeing, well, Marines going to be able to push on through, and already some Marines trying to take those watchtowers can get taken down. Future now will be able to maybe rotate around to the right side here. I mean, you just scan the army, he's going to go for that big lift up. Oh, he gets seen though. Is it in time for his opponent to respond? Well, some Marines are going to move on over. The tanks are sieging. He's just going to load on the high ground here, which can maybe be the start of kind of bullying his way into position. He still doesn't have combat shield Seither, and so coming in here, I actually really like this fight from Future. He's going to get rid of those Marines so easily. The tanks go down. Well, now 2 more tanks in that natural expansion. Some more Marines just going to be unloading here behind this mineral line. Going to see the Hellion going down. The Medevac will get shot down as well. As we are going to see Medevacs loading up and relocating a little bit. There's a couple of tanks on the natural now. Maybe Future can't break all the way through this. Unless he tries to lift and drop on top. I think he's just going to lift and siege the tanks as well. Or I guess he can hold this position and just bring the Marines back into safety's position. +2 attack on the way from Future. That's actually one thing he's fallen behind on. The upgrades are going heavily in favor of Seither. So if he can hold on here a little bit longer, that's one thing that can turn these fights around. They can turn it into something where he can maybe win a fight because he can get rid of the Marines so quickly, and then he can break through into the tank line. Those tanks going to unsiege, re-siege again as he gets scanned. Obviously, it just creates too good an opportunity for Seither to come in and break if he's got the scan on top as he sees the unsiege happen. Future already coming down, starting to reinforce through this middle position as well. And you've seen a Marine already getting picked off right there. This tank lifts up and moves just a little bit further forwards. Those tanks continue to siege up here in Future again, going to be coming in towards the middle of the map. Try and see what else he can do. As you see, he actually just leaves these units over here, so honestly I don't mind. I mean, triple tank is not easy to break, quadruple tank even. I mean, 4 tanks are going to do a lot of damage to anything that tries to run in forwards towards it. As you are going to be seeing, well, obviously now Future with 2 armies basically sets up this siege in the middle now, and again, fighting without an upgrade disadvantage. It can affect him, especially in these smaller fights, maybe if Seither can start to overrun. Maybe that is how he starts to claw back part of this 40 army supply differential. But man, even when he does that, Seither has a no bank at all, because he's still trying to max out. Against Future, who's set at 1.6, 1.3k. Tanks are just edging forwards. That poor Marine is going to get blasted completely. His leg or something ended up in the middle of the rest of the Marines. Well, now that Liberators started coming into play as well, and the problem is if those Marines try and come forwards here, they're just going to get blown up by the siege tanks, right? They're going to have really no chance at all. As you're going to see more and more of these Marines disappearing at the moment. Tanks sieging up once again. We are going to be seeing a big stim up here. Seither says, okay, enough is enough. I'm sick of you having both of these positions, so let's clean up over here. And now maybe he can loop around to clean up over here, but obviously Future sort of feels as though he's going to have to push on it himself. So much of this army from Seither is up on that high ground, and he's going to start losing a lot. It looks as though he's going to try and drop across the map, but now he comes back in. Still got units and medevacs. It's becoming a massive mess, and Future does end up a bounce back, or if there is just going to be a clean sweep. To the top left-hand side, our red zone player is, of course, Future. Bottom right, the blue Terran from SYF Gaming, it is Seither. Alright, how's everybody doing today? Are we all still doing good? We're all still having a good time, I hope. Hopefully you guys all enjoying these games because they've been pretty freaking crazy so far. We've had a lot of awesome StarCraft 2 action, and I mean, I think even though this is a 2-0 scoreline, I think Future definitely deserves it. He's definitely been the stronger player, making the better moves and making things happen on the map. I feel as though the games haven't just been complete and total stomps, right? They've been interesting, a little bit back and forth, you know, some cool army movements and stuff like that, so that's always a big plus. As you just see here, STV building up another depot on the top side, and it is this game on Catalyst, no Reaper Expand, just going to be the, both of them going for the double gas early, stay on one base for just a little bit longer. It is a smaller map in general, and so it is a map where, realistically, you can probably expect the players to want to play a bit more aggressively, or even that kind of, just slightly less greedily, like no Reaper Expand, and even if you don't play too aggressive here on the factory starport early, just play defensive, because, hey, it sets you up in a position where you will not take damage. If you're not taking damage, that is a big plus. Moving on, and then you can maybe expand and just kind of stay safe, because it is difficult to defend otherwise on this sort of map, as we're going to be seeing the Reaper kind of hop back down to the low ground here, and the CC from Future will start a build. He bypassed the starport. He actually didn't have the gas for it. I'm not sure when he took his second gas or so, but it seems to be a little bit different. As we will see the starport now dropping down, so a third tech structure here in the game already from Future. Just the starport, of course, it's much faster from his opponent, and very different setups. The barracks from Future builds a reactor, the barracks of Seither builds a tech lab, because he's going to go for that swap around, and I imagine this will be the Raven on the way out, because we've just seen Raven after Raven after Raven here so far today. And there it is, it's actually a Banshee. Okay, prove me wrong, buddy. It's fine, I get it. You don't want me to make me look clever, it's okay. To be fair, he didn't have anywhere near the gas for the Raven, so I guess that does make sense to make a Banshee, but no cloak just yet is also what I was wondering about, because I kind of thought, well, if he doesn't have the gas, maybe he just saves up to get the Raven anyways. But no, he's going to start the Banshee and probably invest into cloak here very soon as well. As we are going to be seeing the T-Reapers hopping on up in towards the main base, and they are going to be able to start moving around to pick off already a SCV. So an SCV going down, a second SCV as well. You're going to see a third SCV as well. Wow. These T-Reapers of Future keep on doing so much damage, just coming in at like a later stage than you might expect them to, and just popping in and being like, okay, cool, what's up? Here's some SCV kills. And so far, Seither's been damaged by these every single time that that Future's tried to do it. Every single time. Raven currently on the way up here from Seither, as we are going to be seeing the Reaper and a couple of Cyclones. Starting to head up and through the center of the map. Coming in towards the top side here in the next few moments, as we do see the well, another Cyclone on the way out again, that Raven building up as well. Banshee from Seither across the map. Gets tagged onto again, no cloak. He never started that cloak up, and well, it doesn't find much damage with the Banshee. It's kind of weird to see a cloakless Banshee in TvT, because it is very rare that I think a cloakless Banshee can get too much damage done. In TvT it's a bit different. You probably are going to find a couple of drones on the edge of a mineral line. You probably are going to find potential defense on the map. It just doesn't work as well, because so many of the early game Terran units obviously shoot upwards, whereas the early game Zerg units, it's really just the Queens that have to be in position to be able to stop the Banshee, so it's much more difficult to do something in the TvT than the TvZ. Which is why maybe the cloakless Banshee is a bit more common there. So the one Banshee to the left side, and we are going to be seeing this Reaper of Seither starting to move up and through the center. 4 more Cyclones coming up as well to see what they can perhaps do. As we do see the 3 command centers from Seither on the way up. So he's going to be the player going up to 3 CC this time. Future's been pretty quick on that throughout the games today, but this game is going to be Seither to do it, as we do see 2 extra racks on the way down. I do wonder about the possibility perhaps here of maybe Future just playing the 5 racks. You know, don't go into a 3 CC. Just play the 5 racks, play aggressively. Kind of like what we saw Thermal using against Solo a little bit earlier on today as well. Take a 3rd CC later on behind it. As we do see the Marines and tanks just moving through the center, so getting ready to push a lot of Cyclones from Seither. I mean, playing this kind of Cyclone-heavy style reactor in them out all the way, and because of this, he will probably be playing mech going forwards as well. So looking towards some mech right now. Scan comes down this natural as tanks do see a jump, and interference matrix, 2 interference matrices will maybe make this a good trade here from Seither, although he is losing a couple of his Cyclones. This tank in the back is going to help out a little bit with a few more shots, but that's going to be about it for now. We'll actually drop back on top of this Banshee, and again with no cloak, Banshee will get taken down. That Marine gets picked off as well. We're just going to be seeing this medevac continue to come back down towards the bottom left hand side. Bunker gets set up at the front, and we're going to be seeing the another barracks on the way up here. Actually gets paused. I wonder why he paused it. I guess he messed up. Did the Banshee get a kill? Maybe the Banshee picked off the SCV building this barracks, and he just Future hasn't realized that yet. He's got a Cyclone and Marine still, which is going to drop behind the mineral line. Still just pure Cyclones on the way. At some point, of course, Seither kind of has to try and transition out of this. Cyclones will be locking onto that medevac and continue to push it away through this south side, and we're all going to be seeing the +1 attack from Future, Stimpack as well. I mean, if he's going to push with this, it'll be with the 2 medevacs and some of these bio upgrades finishing, so I mean, again, you have to imagine that he probably will push to some extent, because the 4th and 5th racks coming up, so at least the first push should come in with the first couple of medevacs. And obviously, potentially more coming out of that in the near future as well, as you're going to be seeing these tanks continue to set up here. Future just taking the front line. Just waiting for that chance for him to move across. He has a Liberator as well, which picked up 6 kills previously. We didn't see that on screen, but not bad, just slowing down Seither in this sort of situation. To be ahead on workers when playing against a triple CC is obviously pretty freaking nice, so again, this feature just slowing Seither down here and there in that regard. As you are going to be seeing the Cyclone Marine just coming in towards the middle. And just, again, holding map control for now. And now it's starting to push forwards, but only with a couple of units. Really not much at all. 7 Marines, a siege tank, a couple of medevacs. You're going to be coming on over to the right-hand side as we're going to be seeing a supply depot. Continue to come down on the left, so... Liberator going to keep on moving around. +1 armor from Future on the way up. Combat shields coming on through on this tech lab as well. And we use the Liberator. I mean, may as well just siege and get the kill right. However, it might cost him his life because the Cyclones have arrived. And the Cyclone anti-air nowadays is not so bad, especially when there's a lot of them. And that's why you can get away with the kind of the Cyclones early game nowadays for Terran in TvT, because the Cyclone anti-air will keep you very safe against a lot of the opponent's kind of harassment and attacks that they can usually throw your way. Marines and tanks pushing forwards here. They do have the stim, and initially the stim here doing a lot. The tanks as well. I think you don't notice it, but actually the tanks, even though they don't pick off Cyclones immediately, they just weaken them so much. And wow, Future just pushes through the center of the map to pick up game 3 just like that. Wow, 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 wow.